During the Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2, a fourth game of the current version of Hyrule was announced, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. The events of this game predates the other three games I'll be mentioning in this video, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and the game it has the closest ties to, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Today we're going to answer a few questions. What is the Imprisoning War? Why does it even matter? And what would we even possibly learn about this game and how it relates to Tears of the Kingdom? Well, let's start with that second question. Why the hell should we even care? With so much buzz swirling about on the Switch 2 and tariffs and the price of Mario Kart, I really feel like this brand new Zelda game and what is likely the last piece of Zelda media we will get in this version of Hyrule, it was largely overshadowed. But when the Zelda fans think back to the Nintendo Direct, this is probably the first thing that pops into our heads. A brand new Hyrule Warriors game that seems to be canon to Tears of the Kingdom. At least that's what they're framing it as, unlike the last Hyrule Warriors game where it was framed as an alternate timeline. This actually seems like it's going to fill in the gaps for one of the biggest criticisms we had about Tears, as we really didn't get to know much about Zelda's time in the past. And we also didn't learn much about Ganondorf, at least not enough to make us truly care about him. This is a big win for the Zelda fans. My wife, Dread, and I were particularly excited about this release because of our fondness for Age of Calamity. Age of Calamity, which was the last Hyrule Warriors game, gave us a true in-depth look at those fabled and kind of hollow husks of characters that were in Breath of the Wild. We saw deep interactions, and we saw true character development for Zelda's champions. And in Age of Calamity, we got the depth of the story that the trailers for Breath of the Wild promised us, instead of that bait and switch shit. So to see that we're getting the same thing, presumably, in Legend of Zelda, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, and what a fucking mouthful, by the way, well, that gets us hyped as hell. This game will correct a major misstep that they took with Tears of the Kingdom storytelling. And it's, likely for that low price of $80. I'm sure. I mean, it could be $70, who knows? Greedy fuck. Okay, so if it's been a bit since you've played Tears of the Kingdom, here's what happened and what is the Imprisoning War. In Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda wakes up having traveled thousands of years into the past, and this is after grabbing a secret stone that fell from a floating arm holding a dehydrated Ganondorf in place. She meets the founder of Hyrule, Rauru, and his wife, Sonia. Zelda tags along with Rauru, having convinced them that she's from the future. She meets Rauru's sister and a bunch of others and gets to see the kingdom that Rauru had established and went to some parties and etc. No, seriously, she went to parties that was actually established. How long she's back there remains a little bit of a mystery, but we can assume that it's a considerable amount of time. During that time, as Rauru is establishing the kingdom of Hyrule, he meets Ganondorf, the leader of the Gerudos, and Ganondorf swears fealty and allegiance to Hyrule. Zelda sees this and she doesn't quite trust him, and she can't place where she's seen him before. I guess he looked too different not being a mummy. And as it turns out, her mistrust was right. Ganondorf was only pledging his allegiance so he could get close enough to get his hands on a secret stone, as he murders Rauru's wife and uses that stone to beef up his own powers so he can take Hyrule for his own. What ensues after that is a long and arduous war. Rauru uses the help of his enlisted sages, his sister, and Zelda to eventually confront Ganondorf in a showdown where Rauru sacrifices himself and imprisons Ganondorf until the events of Tears of the Kingdom. So, in layman's terms, that's what time period this game will cover. And there's a ton of stuff that I hope we will learn about this world. We'll probably get a good look at Rauru's kingdom. We'll likely learn the names of these fucking sages that you meet in Tears of the Kingdom, since they're literally nameless. Now, we're all banking on these being the names of the divine beasts from Breath of the Wild, as it was legend that they were named after heroes from the past. We'll likely learn about the person that the hero's rampart costume that you get at the end of Tears of the Kingdom. We'll probably learn who that is. And we'll probably learn if Rauru and Sonia have a child, as they would have had to have a child in order for Zelda to exist, right? But she was murdered. So it must have happened either before the events of Tears of the Kingdom or during, and it's just not mentioned. I don't know. Either way, we'll probably find out. It's just things like that that I feel like we should have had answered in Tears of the Kingdom. There's just so much story that they left out of Tears of the Kingdom. There's that memory format. I hope that they leave that in the past. For whatever the next Zelda game is, I hope that that never comes back. The memory system is terrible. Anyway, honestly, this is probably the game that I'm looking forward to the most this year in 2025. It's only slightly above Expedition 33, but it is above. I am a Zelda fan through and through. This is a series that me and my wife spend a considerable amount of our time playing together. And when I look back to the joy that we had in Age of Calamity, I just, there's nothing that's going to get me as excited as this did. So this is my game for 2025. And I will close this video with our reaction to the reveal trailer.
For now, we'd like to show a game being developed in collaboration with Nintendo. Please take a look.
What is it? I can't. Koei Tecmo. Alright, so... What? Is this like a Warriors?
Who descended from the heavens, joined hands with the Hylians, who dwelled on the surface. Their union led to a great and prosperous kingdom. But in time, a terrible
It's a
evil
Warriors
arose.
game.
A war was fought to vanquish this evil, one which future generations would call the Imprisoning War.
Perhaps you truly have traveled back in time.
We can fight as them? Can we fight as them? Can we fight as
It's a
them?
Warriors game, you know it.
So that's Hyrule Castle? Then that must
Backstory,
mean
backstory,
really
backstory.
is the past.
Look at the frame rate! Go! Frame rate!
I am so ridiculously over the top excited. Holy crap! Oh my gosh. Coming this winter.
That was Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment.
So Christmas?
It's being
Yeah.
developed by Koei Tecmo Games with support from Nintendo. I hope you're looking forward
I'm
to the
so
untold
excited.
story of the
Look at
Imprisonment
them!
We beat
Oh.
the shit out of the last
Age
Hyrule
of
Warriors
Calamity.
game. So yeah.
I'm so stupidly
And
excited.
now, some news about Nintendo Switch Online.
And that's it from me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. And long live the Turtle Kingdom.